Okay. Okay, so I think we should be live now. Let me just check. Hold on. Here we go. I always need these 30 seconds to just publish everything.
It's worth being sure, isn't it?
Okay, so guys, oh, here she is. She was late, but she's here. Elena, how are you?
Right on time.
Hi.
I thought you weren't coming, Elena.
No, I just have problems with the house, the internet, and everything, but it's okay.
Yeah, I thought you were already sleeping because in Greece it's what, 11?
Yes, but no, I don't sleep so early, but I had to put the makeup and everything and be.
Oh, okay. Oh,
same here.
I forgot to do that. Oh no.
You don't have these things.
Okay, guys. So let me just check if everything is okay and if we're live. I think we are, but let me just check on that. Yeah, we are. Let me just go this. Okay, so people are getting in, so we're just going to give them a couple of minutes and then we'll start. So first of all, thank you to the three of you, Yves, Harvey, and Elena. You know, it's always a pleasure to have some of the Europe's finest with me here. So and the Portuguese photographers really appreciate that. So basically what we're going to do today is what we do every Wednesday. Basically we look at pictures, wedding pictures, and we try to help the photographer to, you know, help them. If something is wrong, we tell them how it should have been done, but it's only our opinion. It's the way we see photography. So, you know, so if we're too harsh on you, don't feel bad. It's just we are like that. We are bad people. Okay. So I think we're gonna. Okay. So at the end, let me just explain to Elena because she wasn't here. Elena, on the right corner on the top, it says comments. If you click on that, I think the comments will show here. Let me just see. Oh, can you see any comments, guys?
No.
You can't. Okay. Let me just check what's wrong.
No.
Yeah. Let me just check. Okay, somebody at home, can you write something so I can check if we can see comments? Okay, so at the end, we're going to choose our favorite photo. Okay, so and the winning photo will win 100 euros on Dreambooks Pro. Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. Okay. Boa noite means good night.
Good night,
Bruno. Yeah, basic stuff. This is a Portuguese lesson for you guys. So at the end, we're going to choose our favorite picture, and you're going to give 100 points to your favorite picture. Those 100 points will convert into likes on Facebook for that picture. And at the end of the week, who has more likes, including our 100 likes, will win the 100 euros.
Nice.
Okay, so I think we're going to start. Are you ready?
Let's rock.
Sure.
Let's go. Let me just open the photos. Okay. All right, here we go. The first one. Okay. So, who wants to start?
Flip a coin.
We'll take turns.
Yeah. I mean, I'll start if if that's cool.
Yeah.
Everyone's happy with that?
Yeah, go on.
The first thing that I say to when I'm training people is if you do like a couple shot or there's an action happening between two people, if you cover up one of the people with your finger or with a piece of paper over the screen, what does it look like they're doing? And in this picture, the bride's obviously holding a flower, she's having a kiss, but the guy's got his hand in his pocket and his body isn't even facing here. So if you cover up the bride with your vision, he could just be sort of leaning, giving his mum a kiss on a forehead or something. You know, there's nothing specifically close about these two. And I think like hand in the pocket is one of the things you really need to avoid when it comes to a nice couple shot. Like if I'm doing a portrait session with a couple, the first thing I say to them is, this is easier than you think, but then I'll look at the guy and say, your hand should be around your wife all the time because it looks like you're connected. And that's the immediate thing. And the second thing is, because it's flashed, like the floor becomes quite prominent and it's out of balance with the top shade. So I'll just literally get a gradient in Lightroom, put it from the bottom to like midway and just drop it a few stops just so that floor isn't as bright and her dress exposure drops a bit, and that'll focus the eye a bit more.
Yeah. Last week we had I think it was last week, we had a similar case where the everything was okay, but the groom had the hand in the pocket and just ruined the photo because it's not really natural.
Yeah, there's like the element that for me kind of makes the photo or interesting is the woman on the right, you know, with the plastic bag. And she has a very peculiar expression, and I kind of like it. But the thing is, I don't think the photographer, it's not intentional. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. And you know, it's a portrait, so I like it.
I will crop it to see more of the woman.
Yeah,
because
it's
the most interesting.
It's like a more documentary portrait, let's say. But I don't know if the photographer really meant it that way or not, or is it just like it's lucky element. Because like when I try to shoot a portrait, I always try to have an idea of what I'm doing. Like what do I want to achieve with this portrait, you know? And here it just looks like put a couple in the middle of a marketplace and just flash, and that's it. So I'm kind of missing the idea. And if the picture is selected because of the woman, like you already did, Valter, you have to like crop it, and I would just put it in black and white, because the color doesn't really work for me. My attention goes to the woman in the bright red skirt and top. So you know, I would just do it black and white, documentary style, and focus on the funny element. And for me, that's the lady on the right. But yeah, it's kind of my idea on the photo.
Elena, anything else that you want to add on this one?
Well, I like the idea that we are in the market, you know, this contrast that we have the bride and the groom in a market. And I think that we could do many things inside this market. I like the colors. I like the paintings on the right and on the left that I can't see them very clearly. But I think that we could be more creative. And even if we wanted the couple in the middle there, maybe the background is not very clear. It's not, we see the lines behind them.
Mm-hmm.
I would like a better background. I would like to be more clear. What else? Also, I'm not the perfect with the posing, but sometimes I want to get rid of this bouquet.
Me too.
I don't know what to do with the bouquet.
I hate them.
Yes. So I want something more from them. Of course, I always want them to be natural and feel very nice with that when I photograph their portraits. But yes, something with their hands. I don't see their expression.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every photo starts with a purpose, and I don't see the purpose of putting them there. I don't see the point, because if you want to show the marketplace, I just see like 1/3 of the picture is like walls, just walls, with a drawing that you can't really see what, it's very difficult. Yeah.
Okay.
On a quick, super quickly,
yeah.
on a technical point, that's like a centered composition, like symmetrical. But the story is actually making the composure and the composition off, because it's all pushed to the right-hand side. So you shouldn't be doing a symmetrical composition if your actual focus is in one side of the frame, because it's no longer symmetrical. It's off kill. I'll just say that quickly.
Yeah, that's good feedback. I mean, for me, just to finish this one, for me, the interesting thing is this woman. So I would crop it like I did before and put it black and white, like Yves said, and take a bit of advantage of the woman there, because she's probably pissed off for them being there. I don't know.
She doesn't look happy.
Yeah, she's not happy. She looks like a Portuguese angry woman. Okay, let's move on. Let's go to the next one.
I'll let someone else start this time.
Elena, you want to start? Yeah, you were the last one to come in, so you're going to start this one.
Well, I think it's a nice moment for the groom, but not the best moment for the bride. She's looking at the camera.
Yeah, she just ruined it.
Yes. And I don't know why, but when I see the photo, I feel like it is staged a little bit from the photographer, and the bride looks at the photographer like, and she's, am I okay? Am I, I feel that it's not the real moment.
Yeah.
What else? It needs maybe a different angle. I would choose a different angle from the smoke, from below, or something more interesting. I don't know.
But the bride would probably just follow you everywhere you went and just ruin the photo.
Look at me! Don't.
Yeah. I think the photographer should have worked a bit more on the post-production here. I know there's smoke here and this affects the general contrast, but there's a lot of difference between this skin and this skin here. It's completely different, so I would work a bit more on the post-production here. You guys, anything else?
I think Elena's right. Basically, this is all composition, and it's a very basic, just straight on. At first, I was going to say crop that person out on the left, but that's obviously the son, so you can't really do that, because you have to keep him in if it's a family thing. But get to the side and shoot through people to make that more interesting.
Yeah, and it's like composition-wise, it's like you said.
Maybe. Sorry.
Yeah, it's pretty boring and pretty standard. Like, it's not close, it's not far, it's somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Like, it's
that's how I'd crop it too.
Yeah.
But she's still ruining the photo.
You have to Photoshop her eyeballs looking to the side slightly.
The photographer can, give this picture to the client, because probably that kid is important. But for portfolio, if he wants to use this for portfolio, and I'm assuming he wants to use this because he sent this photo. If it's for portfolio, you can just crop it here. You don't need the kid. The kid is important for the family.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Anything else on this one, or do we move on?
No.
They're the key points, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next.
Portraits under the tree, backlit.
What do you mean by that?
It's like this is a pretty, let's say, standard shot. I like the colors, like how the tree is lit. It's nice. It's interesting. So you can definitely work with that. And it's there are a couple of things that don't work. First of all, like it feels that the couple is like cut off way too high. They're almost decapitated. So I want to see more of their bodies. I don't want to see the ground per se, but I want to see more of them.
Just a bit more, yeah.
Because they just kind of fall off of the composition of the image. And lighting wise, it's like it's flaring. It's maybe it's fog. I don't know. I don't know. You have to decide to do like a silhouette or not. And this is like, let's blow out everything, and I don't see any contrast. And then lastly, moment wise, there is no moment between the couple. There's no tension. They just like stand the penguin pose in front of each other and just smile. And I don't feel any passion. Even if it were a silhouette, you can still feel, even in the penguin pose, you can still like kind of feel something, or make through like the couple. Like what I try to do is, for example, if I would do that pose, is like make the bride like bend a little backwards, that he like moves a little forward, and that you get like kind of a S curve, and that you feel the tension that that they're about to kiss, or just kissing, or whatever. And here it's just like, hey, look at each other and smile. So I think it was a nice idea, but there's like some work at the execution.
Yeah. Anything else?
Agree with all of that. I want to see her head flip back, like with a big laugh coming out of it. That'd have made that picture for me.
Yeah, I think this is. I've said this about some other pictures that we've had here in the past. Like, this is the worst, my worst pose ever. Like, I hate it. Like, this thing. It's like, I call it the dog paw, because that's what dogs do when they put So I hate this pose, and I think no one should carry on doing this pose.
And it's also, I don't know, when I see this photo, I say, oh, amazing tree. What an amazing tree, what an amazing the color. And I don't know, the tree gets my attention. Maybe we could do something more creative with the tree and the couple and these colors, or their shapes, or silhouettes, something with the tree.
There's too much tree.
Yes, too much.
And a lot of it looks dead as well. Like if the top right hand side of I'll try and make those greeny blues a bit more naturally green, so it looks more like a tree, because it all looks a bit dead. Sort of suck some life out of the shot. So I want to see a bit more vibrancy in there, a bit more natural green.
Yeah.
And give the tree a little bit space, like if it's possible, I don't know, just like take a few steps backward to show the whole shape of the tree. I think that will be
it would
more
be
interesting.
Just a bit more of everything, a bit more of the tree, a bit more of the couple.
Just like step back.
It had potential. I think it has potential, but there are quite a few errors here. Okay, before we move to the next one, let me just say to the guys watching at home, because I see that they're a bit shy today, because usually most of the weeks we do in Portuguese with Portuguese photographers or Brazilian, and so they keep writing and asking stuff, and they're a bit shy. So guys at home, I know you understand English and you can write English. So if you wanna comment in English, you can do it. Okay. Just before we go to the next one, please make sure you go and follow, if you don't already follow these guys on Instagram. Ross Harvey, okay, without the E.
Someone's got that.
Yves Schepers .weddings. Elena _Haralabaki. Do I say is it Haralabaki? Am I saying it right?
It is Haralabaki. Haha.
Haralabaki. Haralabaki.
Yes.
Yeah. Haralabaki. Okay. And mine for looks _wedding. Okay, so let me just hide this and carry on. Okay, so let's go to the next picture. Okay. Oh, sorry guys, I thought you were already watching it. Sorry. Okay. There it is.
The sticker on his cap. I'm just like, what does it say? it just like, it draws my attention, and just Photoshop it out.
The sticker has to go. Yeah, 100% agreed.
Yeah.
Also, that pole in the background, that makes it a bit more rural rather than a bit less rural, a bit less natural.
Yeah.
Whatever that black tower thing is.
Yeah. Usually I try not to decide what couples wear on engagement sessions, but I try to show them like some examples of nice clothes and a nice style. And here, like she got that nice girly dress, and he looks like he was just playing basketball with his friends on the courtyard and just popped here for a second to do a picture. So
there's a mismatch.
Yeah. So I think it's well, the way I see it is it's important for us to like give them some guidelines on what to wear on the sessions. For example, that cap, just throw it out.
It's still a very nice picture, but I'd love to see this 85mm up close, like cropped in real tight, so their faces fill the frame, because you could use the highlights on the front of their faces as just the composition throughout the whole frame. That'd be beautiful if it's like really tight as well as a shot. But there's a lot of potential there.
Like in portraits, there has to be a good reason to show the ground or where the couple is standing or sitting on. And I think in this shot I would like made him, I don't know, stand on the little wall and maybe like you would go close, Ross, which is a good idea. I would maybe go a little bit more backwards and let them, show in the whole scenery, because I love how the countryside is flowing. If like in portraits, I always try to. That's my thing, is that I try to make an abstraction of things I like, environments I see, and if I can see how it's made, it sometimes loses interest. So I try to like
make it more mysterious.
And to control our portraits, we can do, I think, more things. We have the time. It is a portrait photo. So I think it's not the best idea with their backs and the scene and the highlight on the top. I don't like this. Yes,
sorry, Elena, I thought you'd finished.
Yes. No, this is it. I think that we have the time to do many things with the couples at this moment.
I'd like to see his arm around her as well, because she's obviously holding him, but he could be a bit disinterested, especially, like you say, Valter, when he's combined in his like basketball clothes.
I think he's sleeping. He looks like he's like.
Yeah. Okay. So in this case, this guy just ruined the photo because he chose the the wrong clothes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And his t-shirt is too tight, I think.
Yeah, his t-shirt is a bit tight. I mean, he doesn't have the perfect body. Everyone can see that. Okay, I'm not going to talk about his body.
Looks
Okay,
fine.
I'm going to move on. Okay.
Oh, this is when they've got like the if you're going to do a shot like this, there's way too much information on the outside of that frame.
Yeah.
You can't see the bride or his old. That's obviously her dad, right? Because it's got old arms.
Yeah,
You need to see his face, and that needs to be cropped in quite a lot. So
yeah,
the two outer people are actually the edges of the frame, probably even tighter than that. Yeah. Try that. I'd probably crop it even tighter, to be honest.
even tighter.
The main thing is you need to see the old guy's face because it's just the back of their head.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. It's
Up a little as well. Cut her watch in half.
just hold on. Yeah, it's better cropped. I don't know.
How many pictures did the photographer take of this moment? Because it's a good idea to layer. Layering images is always interesting. To tell a story, to make the image more interesting. But
he probably took a lot of pictures of this moment. But
why did he choose this one where you can't see the bride's face or the dad's face?
Maybe it's the best photo of the moment that he got.
Probably because the foreground works, I reckon. I reckon they've prioritized the foreground, which is blurred, over the actual focus, which is the background.
So that
if you blur your, if you squint your eyes at this picture, the bride disappears completely, and all you can see is these guys in the foreground. And squinting is a really good way to see if the picture works or not. So they just disappear, which means the preference what your brain will see first is the foreground, which is obviously blurred. And I think that's why they've picked it.
Yeah, but then it's not well executed, or I wouldn't pick it.
I wouldn't either.
No, I wouldn't either. No,
because
you have to have a face.
Yeah, because in this moment you just left shoot, and look what the bride is doing with her father, how they're interacting, and just wait and just micro whatever move along with whatever's happening, because it's a good idea, but again it's not well executed, or they didn't wait.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. You wouldn't leave this position until you got the shot you wanted. You'd keep shooting. You'd hit it and say done.
And also, like, what is it, aperture 2? Like,
it's 2.
If you really want to make it more layered, more of a story, then I would I would shoot it at 5.6 to 8 somewhere, and then wait for, if the two layers come together with emotions and moments, then you have an amazing image. But
Elena, you want to add something?
Yeah, this layering, it's a very nice idea and very good moment with the parents, but unfortunately we don't get the best.
Yeah, I think it probably doesn't have any other lights here, so it's all the DJ lights probably. I don't know, because it's on ISO
6400.
6400. So he probably couldn't go like f6. Well, he could, but you'll get a lot more noise than if he wasn't using any other lights. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. And then again, if you have to do f2, okay, but then make sure that at least the bride and the dad have a moment, and maybe try to make sure that by changing your composition, that the letters don't go across their heads as well.
I'm gonna ask this photographer. I don't know. I can't remember who this is from, but I'm gonna ask him if he's probably watching. to send me more photos of this moment, because I'd like to see them. Send it to me by email, because I'm sure there are other photos, and maybe you didn't choose the right one.
One
so,
last thing
yeah.
as well, if that's okay. The lighting should always be prioritized on the subject, the key subject, but the lighting's better on the foreground side subject than it is the actual bride. So the key light should be on the bride and her dad rather than the people in the foreground.
Mm-hmm.
And is the shot with a 35? Is it?
Yeah, 35.
I would like move in closer as well, and just like Ross said in the beginning, like crop it. You should do it with your lens, like move a little bit forward. That the mom and the groom, that they fill up the frame, and that they like make a nice frame around the bride and her dad.
Yeah.
Just people are dancing. They're focusing on each other. They're not watching you, so you can just move in close a little bit and then move backward again, and be a ninja.
You could even use a longer lens as well.
Oh yeah. Listen.
Someone is writing English now. Okay, that's good. Okay, guys, carry on. I know you
Pedro.
can do it.
Hey, Pedro.
Hey.
Okay, so let's move to the next one. Okay, who wants to start? Elena, do you want to start?
Yes. Well, it's a real moment. I feel that, I don't know, I would choose another angle. Maybe I think that the most interesting here is this woman on the right, because she's praying and she's engaged in this moment. Instead, the other people are not contributing to this moment. So I would choose to move very quickly next to her. Maybe I would choose her to be my protagonist of my frame, or the couple. But definitely I would like another frame with maybe with the three of them, with the woman and the couple with the statue. What else?
I would definitely Photoshop those black fans out, because they really distract.
Yeah, and the frame, I think I don't like to cut the feet like this. Yes, it's a nice moment, but
I don't like feet either.
The other people are not engaged in the moment, and I don't like this.
Yeah. You guys, anything else to add to?
No, I think Elena, like what she says is correct. Like while shooting wedding, everything happens so fast, so you have to think fast as well. And indeed, like using the woman who's praying, like on the right side of the frame, like move close to her, and then filling up the left hand side with the two people holding the statue. I think that would be an awesome choice, because indeed the other people are just like, they're really not concentrated, or like really not in the moment, and it kind of reduces the impact of the image. And if you would have shot it this way, like in like it is now, I would do the post-processing a little bit different, like really underexpose a little bit more, like pull down exposure, and then slightly dodge and burn to make the two people with the statue and the woman in the right then a little bit more popping, because now my eyes they go, just like Ross says, to the fans, to the white wall, because this is kind of the brightest part in the image. So I would just like work a little better on the edits to make more out of this image.
Sergio just made a good point in the chat, which is you could wait until they're a little bit closer as well, because if she's locked in a position in that ceremony and she can't actually move, because there might be a priest or someone to her right, so she can't move across and get the shot, or whoever's taking the photo, sorry, then that couple being a little bit closer could work as well.
Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the comments now. Yeah,
crazy picture.
But that's a great point. Like, and the photographer probably has more photos of them closer to this lady here, unless, well, I would just keep on shooting until they went past. So maybe he has a better one. Okay, let's move on to the next one.
You have to ask yourself, what's tipping? Where's that water coming from at first? It's not very clear. It's very impactful, but the context is gone. I mean, you can just about work out that someone with yellow paint on their hands, which is yellow, is holding a can and tipping it into his mouth. That you need to show that a little bit more. I think composition has been used stronger than the actual moment in the story in this picture, which is detrimental to the whole point of the picture, right? Which is the point you're trying to put across the moment and the action. So you just don't be so extreme and step back a bit and show the actual context of the picture a bit better.
Yeah, I guess this is like a kind of Indian ritual thing, Indian wedding. So they probably know what he's drinking, but we don't. We have no idea. Could be Coke, could be water, could be wine.
Beer would be nice.
But I mean, I like the picture. I like it. It has impact. The first time I saw it, it has impact.
Yes. And I think if it's in a series where you can see the guy with a can, like if it's an action album or a blog or whatever, you'd actually see the can being opened, and then it makes more sense, which is another point to think of. But singularly, it's not very clear.
Yeah.
It's like I said earlier as well, with every image, you have to know what you want to tell with that picture. Which story do you want to tell? And here it's like, it's not close enough to really just like focus on his reaction or his emotions, because then indeed you should like crop it very, very tight, almost only the liquid and his the redness of his tongue and his lips, and contrasting to the yellows on his face. Or like Ross said, like move backward, and the interaction between the guy who's pouring the drink in his mouth and his reaction. So
it's also a 17mm lens, which is pretty extreme.
Yeah,
it's very interesting angle. I love this unusual angle. When we create unusual these angles for our eyes and our brain, it's very different. So I like this point of view very much. And
but in this image, like the only interesting thing is like, it's like, would it be 10% of the image, and it's face and the liquid, and the rest is just blurry and not helping with the context and helping it out. So like
I'd Photoshop the jeans out as well on the left-hand bottom left.
Yeah.
They'd be gone.
Yeah.
That's a nice picture.
Yeah, it's a nice picture. Well, I like it. Maybe like you said, if we had like a sequence of 10 photos to understand a bit better what's going on.
Valter, could you like I don't know, but that doesn't make sense either. Like, I'm just like, maybe
What do you want
crop
me to
it.
do?
No, that's strange.
Crop it where?
I don't know. I was just like cropping with my hands on the monitor, but that doesn't work.
I don't really see what I could crop to make it
Yeah,
better.
but then you would
then
crop
you
out
lose.
the can.
Yeah,
You
you
can't
lose
because it's a
more.
fisheye.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
The lens won't let you do it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move to the next one. Oh, let me just say to guys at home, I'm gonna give you 30 seconds. 30 seconds to share this live to all on your Facebook, because today is a bad day. I know, because today football starts again in Portugal, and yeah, there's a game going on now at the same time, and I know it affected the viewers. Of course, I knew that was going to happen. Well, I suspected. So, guys at home, please share this live so we can get to more people. Okay, to the people who are not watching football. There's more football tomorrow. Okay, next one. Here we go. Elena, I want to hear you now.
Yes. Okay. Well, it's a cool photo. Okay. I don't know about the reflection on the right. This highlight. I think it's a distraction. Yeah. Or maybe I would prefer something else, a better pose from them. The bride's hand, maybe it's too high. And the background of the couple is not so clear behind their heads. And I would say that it is just a cool photo. Okay. Nothing so special.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is I agree with Elena. The sort of middle right highlight is way too bright. Again, if you squint, it just takes up your whole vision. And because it's right next to the groom who's wearing black, it kind of takes precedence over him. And I think this is I really like this shot actually, but it's the creative side has been taken too far unnecessarily, because if you just shot this normally, it'd be more of a documentary type shot where it'd work, because I think the creative side of it actually takes away from the moment. And if you probably crop this from under the word on downwards and then across just with the chair below them, you'd have a really nice bottom left composure for them, but the rest of the corks and the lights behind them, I think that would make a nice picture, rather than stepping back and shooting through glass, which didn't really help in this case.
Yeah, I usually shoot when I shoot through glass or any gadgets that I have, is to when I don't have like a nice scenario, which is not the case here. I mean, this is like a nice French typical cafe, so I think there will be no need to add all this mess to the big. It would be just a nice picture just on its own.
Yeah,
but I don't see the point in including the letters. I don't know if that what you were talking about. Like the text, it doesn't, like on mange bien toute la journée et après on dort. We eat well whole day and then we sleep.
Thank you for translating that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't see the point in including this text in the image, because if it like that's one rule. If you see letters like a text in an image, your mind will automatically start reading it no matter what, and then it has to mean something. But I don't see the connection between what the text is saying and what they are doing. Or I don't know, I don't see it. So in this, or you make it about the text and their expression or a moment between them linked to the text, or you do something creative with blurry whatever, because it's nice, but then choose either this or that and not like mix them all both together and then you end up with nothing. I don't know. And again, faces of the couple right in the middle of the image. Yeah, it doesn't really work for me.
Yeah.
And then everything is kind of blurry except for the text, and then you see on the right hand side you see the vase with all the corks. I don't know.
Yeah.
It bugs me. Yeah.
Patrick's here. Hello, Patrick.
Hello,
Hey, Patrick.
So yeah, so we're gonna move to the next one. Okay, what's next?
The epic landscape, the epic mountaintop.
Oh yeah, too much floor.
Yeah.
Mm.
Unfortunately, the sun was too bright. Still.
Yeah. At least like some kind of UFO coming through some clouds.
Yeah.
And there's way too much clarity slider on this because you're getting that weird dark halo on the edges, which just makes it look really processed.
Yeah.
That's a much better crop. Yeah, that's what I'd do as well. Probably even less floor.
Yeah.
I'd get rid of that grass at the bottom because that sort of makes it look.
I missed that.
Yeah, that's the sort of more traditional kind of composition, isn't it?
Yeah, that's much better. I think it improves a lot with the crop.
Yeah.
A little tip, like after you, Yves.
No, go ahead. Yours.
A little tip for when you're pushing the clarity and you get that sort of sharp edges to like the highlights of those mountains and the mist is just get a brush, go over those edges of the mountains and just pull the clarity down, and that'll make them blend a bit better. They look less processed, a bit more natural.
Yeah, and also here, maybe composition wise, if you're standing there, I don't know if the photographer had room to move left or right, and it's a little detailed, but it bugs me, like the ridge of the mountain on the left, the darkest one, just like slams into them. So I would like move a little bit to the left, I think, right to left, so it would just end at their feet, and then bam, there's a couple, and you have a leading line that leads towards them, and doesn't crop, their heads off. And then I don't know, in this case, if the sun is out that hard still, I would just like maybe even compose it like tilted more downward, that you don't have the sun in your frame, and then you make the top or the couple like in the upper 1/3 of the image, like make the show maybe more of the part that they're standing on, like really like a pyramid, like, and then they stand in the bottom, the upper 1/3 part. If it makes sense, I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would just try to see how I can make it work, the lines, and also like keep the sun out. Yeah. And then there's the pose.
I totally agree. And regarding the pose, I don't know. I think that the woman doesn't enjoy it very much. I don't know. Like she's freezing. This is what I feel. I would like something better regarding the pose, and then I love this landscape. It's amazing. So I think we could do many things there. Very good photos at this point. This rock is for us. It's perfect there.
Yeah, it has a lot of potential, right?
Yes.
I'd love to see, like Lena says, imagine the bride standing to the right just looking out, and the groom coming up the rocks himself to sort of join her looking out would add a lot of movement and story to the picture as well, rather than just the typical two people together, because then that'd actually be a moment then.
Yeah, or him like them together. It's also like classic, but them walking up the ridge, and him, and that he helps her, like, or vice versa. You know, if she wants to help him, that's okay. But you know, then you have like Ross has a moment, like, and now it's just again like hug and kiss, and it's
Okay, good tips there. Let's move on to the next one. Well, let me just okay.
The cat is enjoying herself.
This one is a good one. Okay, this one is a good one.
He sits here all day with me, bless him.
This one is a good one.
So cute.
Ross, I want to hear you.
Oh my God.
This is a joke, right? It's April Fool.
Please tell me that's a joke.
No, it's not a joke. I mean,
I'm just going to retire now I've seen that picture. I think I can compete. It's too good.
So yeah, Elena, do you have anything to say about this one?
I love it. I love
it.
No, the woman is above him, so we have the power, you know, after the wedding.
At least like she's just given birth to him.
Okay, let's move on. I was joking, okay?
Okay.
I was joking. Okay, let's move. Oh, God. Okay. Here we go. Share screen. Okay. Silent.
Very nice photo. Very, very nice.
I would just crop in a little bit the bottom wave, like, is too much. I don't know. I just crop in a little bit. Yeah, something like that, maybe.
Up a bit. Oh, yeah.
Something like that, maybe.
I also think this actually looks like one of those infrared pictures you see in crime scenes. Like they're glowing white and everything else is really dark. Because obviously this picture's been edited so much. But if you squint, they literally are two bright white blobs on that picture, which doesn't really look natural. So something about this picture doesn't shout real to me because of that. I mean, I expect to see like a crosshair on it and time in the top right hand corner because it's from a helicopter or something, chasing some criminals. Maybe I've watched too much crime TV, but it just needs to be less dark because it's a really sunny beach, right? I understand the process, but I don't think it works here as much. Just balance it a little bit better.
I think the whites here on their shirts are just how do you say it? Oh shit. They're overexposed. Sorry.
Yes. That's the exposure that takes it away from me. But it's a lovely picture.
Yeah, I like it. It's good. Okay, so let's move on.
Yeah.
Too much arm. Yeah. Is she making that face for the picture, or I don't know.
Well, I don't think. I don't think she would make that face for the picture, but I don't know.
It's not very flattering.
Yeah, that's the thing for me. It's not very flattering. Sorry, Valter.
Sorry, because we've got this delay. I would shoot this just a tiny bit up.
Yeah, at least level.
Yeah, level with her.
Because it doesn't look good on her chin, does it?
Yeah.
No, and like like what Ross said as well, like it's too much arm, but also like there, I don't know, there was a time or that that it appeared that if you're a documentary photographer, or you want to, you know, shoot real stuff, people think that you have to shoot funny faces or like people doing weird things, but that's not really the case. And that's something that I often see while judging competitions as well. As long as there's a funny face or somebody doing a reaction, then it's an award, or it's like a good picture. But it's not. It doesn't have any value. And I think this is that kind of picture for me. Like, she makes a funny face, but there's nothing funny happening, or just not. It's not enough, you know.
Elena.
I agree, but regarding the framing, I think that the 50% of the photo is meaningless. We don't need this arm and the makeup artist in this 50%. But sometimes I like this moment with the mascara and the eye. Maybe I would get closer. It's a little bit creepy sometimes.
It's very tactile, the tongue, and I don't know.
Okay. So yeah, what would you do? What would you do to improve this photo? Is there anything you could do to improve this photo?
Reject it while calling.
He's straight in there.
Yeah,
Straight to the point.
Valter told us, to be honest, and just
yeah. No, that's the point. We have
no. You know, it's you have to think, you know, in the position of the bride or whatever person that is, and that, like, you know, it's not really funny and it's not really flattering. So if it would be like just the eye, I also made a picture at one point with makeup artists like doing the eye like this, and then it's a little bit funny. Okay, maybe I would put this one in, but this specific image, like with the tongue, and it's not that flattering. And also what Elena and Ross said, like the composition wise, it's way too much blackness and arm, and you know,
I think
shy
Valter,
angle.
Sorry, you've lagged out. I thought you'd finished. I've done
No,
that twice
go
now.
No, go ahead. That's good.
Valter said what would make this image better, and I think if she was holding a mirror and looking at herself, at least that would add more context to it, and it would be a bit more entertaining, because she'd be pulling her face at herself at least, not just randomly.
Yeah.
For me, anyway, just her holding the mirror would help.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next one.
Level it. I don't like tilt. There's a lot of wasted faces in this picture, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like, it looks like every single person on the right, all four of them, apart from the guy on his phone, and the woman over his shoulder, all looking at something really bottom right of the frame. Like if there's a dog or a pet or something, because they're all completely distracted by it. And obviously the emotion is these guys' faces.
Are they looking at the kids? Or
maybe, but there's not really much happening with the kid. I just want to, it's all about this bit, right? And he's wiping a tear, they're looking at each other. I'd want to shuffle around this way and get in close for that picture. I'd get I wouldn't get close because necessarily that'd be a bit rude, but 85mm, step back, get to the side and get that moment, which is the whole point of this picture, is that like 30% frame if they're sharing their faces there.
Yeah, it would be awesome if the people in the back would work in the image as well, if they would be looking at them, smiling, whatever, crying themselves, because at least at this picture, you know, we see a moment between the bride and the groom. You know, it's because there is a moment, but you know, maybe crop it a little bit better and then do a little bit better processing to make sure that our eye really goes to them, and now my eye, if I squint, it goes to the guy holding the phone because his shirt is the widest. He washed it properly, and so just like burn and dodge a little bit. That maybe black and white. I don't know that that the focus goes to where the moment is between the couple. Yeah.
Valter, can you crop like so they're centered, but the bottom of the crop is like halfway to their bouquet?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Can you crop it so they're centered, but the bottom of the frame is actually halfway to her bouquet? Bouquet.
Okay.
Bouquet.
You have to come out left, probably a bit more than that. Oh,
Yeah,
actually,
stop.
up a bit.
Up.
And center
Cut
them,
up.
yeah.
Cut out the kid.
cut out the kid, and go halfway to her bouquet.
Okay.
Like the flowers.
Okay.
Up, yeah. Keep going up, all the way to the top, and maybe even take the bottom right, pull it in a bit more.
There.
And not go up a bit. You want the sky above his head because that gives you space. Try that. That works better for me.
And then just vignette it, black and white. No, but that's true because that's the moment, like Ross said. But yeah.
What do you think, Elena?
I think that we should look for photos that people's eyes are open, and I don't know. At such moments, I want more expressive people. I want to see their eyes. So it's not the best framing. I think it's a good moment for the groom. Maybe I would move a little bit to the left to see the bride's face. But I can't see expressions. This is the problem, I think. And eyes, people's eyes.
Well, you can forget about people's eyes here because they're worried about their mobile phones, and the other people have sunglasses, so no eyes here.
Yes.
I think the photographer was trying to include the kids on purpose because I think he might be crying probably, or maybe something on his eye.
I don't think so. A kid that age crying could be.
Yeah.
If he was crying, I would try to get both of them on the same frame crying, but maybe he's not crying. Okay. I would hope he was crying. I don't know. Okay. Let's move on to the next one.
Like the whole right-hand side of the image just doesn't work. It doesn't mean she's looking at the left-hand side, like her face and her fist is like really squished against that side. So different composition, and if it's possible, it's you always try action and reaction in the same shot, in the same image, so you know why she's doing that. And if it's not possible because the photographer is sitting in front of the car and it's going pretty fast, then just like get the composition a little bit better, that she looks out of the frame, and because now she's, I don't know.
Hello, Laura.
I don't know. I like the moment. I really like this moment because she looks really happy, and I don't know, Elena.
Yes, but I don't know. I don't. I try to figure out what happens. I don't understand the story. I think exactly. I would like definitely a different angle to see her eyes, or maybe a reflection from the window to see what happens behind. Yes, it's a nice moment, but I would prefer a different angle. It is so common. The photographer was there and just took it from this point of view. Yes.
Yeah.
And what happens? I can't understand what happens. I just imagine some things, but I always try to find what's the story and if the photographer accomplished to tell the story. Yes.
Okay.
It's a nice moment, nice colors, very nice colors.
Mm.
Yeah, I like the colors too.
Yes.
I would erase this lady here in the back, just because she's not doing anything there. Okay, let's move to the next one.
You can hardly see that rice, can you?
What rice?
Right.
It looks like he has flowers for pubic hair as well.
Oh, I would never notice that.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, now you cannot unsee it. It's
No. I just can't look at the picture anymore.
No.
You really didn't need to get that extreme.
That's nice pubic hair.
Yeah, he looks after that. There's a lot of wasted space, like Lena said previously. I think we've all hinted on it, but does that need to be 24 mil? Does that woman on the far left need to be there? You could crop in so close here, and that picture would work so much better. There's just so much big leg, not even closer than that. I wouldn't even have that much leg in. Like, keep going up.
Up.
Yeah, because you want the space above them to show that they're in an open place, so you want that air above their heads, and it's just too much leg. Crop in closer as well from the bottom right, crop in as well. Too much leg.
Hold on.
I'll still crop closer, but that's better.
Yeah,
then you can.
But it's much better.
Yeah. And you can try and make a bit of editing to make that rice come out a bit more.
Yeah. Well, I know the photographer who took this, and I know these colors are usually what she does for most of the work. But I think I think she's watching. Yeah, she is watching.
I really like it cropped in like that.
Yeah, definitely crop it like this, and different colors. Well, but then again, it's your personal taste. You know, that's probably her preset. Like her preset. But yeah, I can't see the rice too much. Yeah, but it works much better like this. Okay. Anything else about this one?
Crop it more.
Crop it more. I can crop it more. Okay, let's try and crop it more.
I don't know. In this, yeah, but it's just again what you want to show. I think she
okay.
Yeah, I think you told us like she's
more from the top left as well. Keep coming down. Keep coming down. Keep coming down. Try that.
There.
There you go.
Better.
You know, it's what you want to tell. You know, which story you want to tell, and like in this case, the photographer really did, picked a good angle on like showing his reaction and the person who's throwing the rice. So on that bit, it's a good decision. You're in the moment, but you're way,
Yeah, I think
24. It's too wide. So in that 24 angle, like with the lens, whatever, I would, if it's possible, step back and try to get my line straight and just like really perpendicular to the scene. Get everybody who's looking over the you know, on the top level, like the top of the frame, and then him, like the lower part of the frame, and then you have like a more of a story. And now it's like, it's
Yeah.
So it's.
I think she was trying to include this woman here on the left, but why? There's no point in her being here. She's not gonna add that anything to the photo, and all this mess with those lights and those cables and all that. So yeah, so she's watching this. Yeah, just crop it and crop it more.
Crop it like it's hot.
Yeah. Okay. Elena, I forgot. Do you want to say anything about this one before we move? Or you don't have to. I mean, we don't have to talk about all of them.
You said everything. I totally agree. And if I was there, I may get closer. Yes. With this wide angle lens, I would go closer. Why not? Very close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think she's kind of already stepping on the groom's foot. I think she's quite close here.
She's come up.
Yeah. Well, but she's small. She's a small photographer. She's like one meter.
1 foot. She's about that tall.
1 foot, yeah. She's a tiny photographer. I know her. Okay, here she is, Anna.
Hey, Anna.
Yeah. So Anna, try with that crop, and it works a lot better. Okay, let's move to the next one.
Crop. It's too bad for the guy who's just ruining the photo.
Yeah.
In the center is like, it's too bad.
There's a lot of wasted information in that frame. All that black top and all the. I mean, I don't want to say it again, but you can reduce this picture by about 30%, and it would be much better.
Yeah.
This guy here on the front is.
You could get rid of that whole right side of that brick. You could crop it all the way down, so it's just from top right.
From
top right.
Top right.
Yeah, if you make the whole thing, that's really hard to describe a crop to someone, isn't it?
Yeah,
Keep going all the way to the bottom left.
Yeah.
All the way to the bottom left. Keep going.
That's a full picture.
Yeah. Now take the top right bit and drag that, and get rid of that whole right hand wall section.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't get that. So you mean it? You mean there?
Yeah, try there. It could be cropped closer, but that's still more interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, much better.
And it's a bit more abstract because that confetti against the black really catches your eye and stands out rather than being replaced by just a standard brick wall.
Yeah. Elena, what do you think?
For me, this man is a huge distraction. I have a problem with this man. Yes, I wouldn't choose this photo. It's
what would you do? Would you kick him? Would you kick him? Like, he's there in front of you. Would you just kick him?
Yes, I would kick him.
Yeah, I will do that too.
Yes. Go away. No, of course we can't do something, but we have to react. We have to be very quick and find another composition, because it's a great moment for a great photo. I think you have this action, but yes, I think that we can't do anything now, cropping or something like that.
No.
I mean, you can crop it like Ross said.
The best cropping.
It will make it a bit better.
Yes.
But the guy's still there. So,
but the color is very nice. The color, Also, the space. I don't need the door, all the door in the photo. Maybe the photographer wanted the door. All this, we don't need the doors.
It could be nice if you like take a few steps back and like see the top of the door, and then maybe the bricks above, and then all the people standing with umbrellas, like
Yes.
leading up to the couple coming out, leading lines to the couple. That would be, I think, a nice way to compose it. Do it that way, or get very close and really like with a zoom 85, 7200, whatever, and just like focus on the black bit, or where they come out, and yeah. But we can talk about this pictures for ages, but the guy in the old guy just ruins it. So
He's not gonna go away. I think
it's not going to go away.
well,
No.
unless I do
Actually-
this. Unless I do this.
I see a lot of memes with
Okay, unless I do
an
it.
inspiration to a lot of memes. What is it?
There it is.
Oh, there it is.
The guy's
Perfect.
gone.
And then also like Photoshop the little confetti right in front of their
Oh yeah,
teeth, because
Yeah.
it looks like she only has one tooth, and it's
And yeah, I think it's because if you look on the far left-hand side, that's a confetti cannon. So the photographer is probably expecting masses of confetti to be right above them. I think that's why they've stood back and aimed high, but it just didn't come out as expected.
mm.
Because blowing across from that way, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the guy. Isn't the guy on the left popping the
yeah.
thing? So if you see it, it's always about anticipation, like anticipating, reading the scene and trying to anticipate what's going to happen. If you see a guy with like a confetti gun, kind of know what's going to happen. So it would be nice to include him.
I think that's a common problem as well, Yves. Like when people see a confetti cannon, they tend to want to step back and get a bigger picture. But I'll often have my 85 ready if I see a confetti cannon, because then you can isolate the couple and all the confetti.
Yeah, it's like I said, like either you do the whole scene, or you do just like 85 zoom in the blackness of the door. Like either way, but like all of the images that we saw and talked about until now, they're like in between spaces and distances, not the right distance. Because there's one quote of what I think Sitlali said once. I think I thought it was a very interesting quote, something that it's a mantra in my head. Like it's what Robert Capa said, like if it's not a good picture, you're not close enough. But I think Sitla changed it into like, if your picture is not good enough, you're not at the right distance. So every scene, every story you want to tell has a certain distance, and this is not the right distance to your subject.
Yeah.
And also if that old guy is actually walking across or moving, there surely has to be extra pictures from this set which you could keep shooting from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just seen something inappropriate with this picture as well, which I'm not going to say.
No, say it.
Well, look where the old guy's head is, and look where the groom's hand is. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, so maybe this is why he sent this picture. I don't know. Okay, let's move to the next one.
Does it need to be said?
Elena,
say it, Ross. Say it.
Let's start with you, Elena.
Okay. Okay, it's a good moment for the bride. But regarding the framing, we have problem here. The 40% of the framing, I think we don't need it. The right part, photo. I would really like to get closer see their faces more. Yes. Yes, better.
Yeah, it's better.
But there are some other distractions. I don't like the umbrella behind this line that goes into the
That's his
nose.
nose.
Yes.
Got to Photoshop that out.
Is anyone going to mention the obvious?
The obvious?
The obvious.
The tooth, yeah, I didn't want to say that because that's aesthetic for the person, isn't it? So you can't really,
you can't change it.
you can't change that, and you wouldn't Photoshop it.
Yeah.
I think, like Elena was saying, obviously we want to crop here, but cropping is how you fix it in post. You should be fixing it like when you're choosing where you're shooting and the composition. You shouldn't really be seeing that frame through your camera and thinking all of that curtain is fine. You should be like, well, that's distracting my eye. What am I really doing here? I'll change my lens and I'll get in close. But it looks like someone's just reacted with is it 30? What's the lens? 50?
51?
Oh, it's just a zoom. So they could have actually just got in closer with a zoom anyway, pushed to the right.
Yeah. And maybe
if you look, the bride's face is bang center as well. So that's just a pretty much center. So it's like okay, here's a moment. I'm just going to center point focus on whatever I'm on, bang, rather than thinking about the composition when you're shooting.
Yeah.
And also, again, try to anticipate, like if this is the beginning of the ceremony, and I think it's the bride and her dad like walking in, like you're at like the 45-degree shy angle, so you're at like you're really not owning the space and taking your position, because you're there to take your shots and you're paid to and I understand you cannot be too intrusive in a ceremony as well, but maybe, and I don't know if it's possible, but if it would have been possible, I would try and like be dead center in the aisle where they're walking up, and then you probably can with a zoom like clear out all the ugly umbrellas as well, probably. So you have to think beforehand, before you click the shutter, and try to anticipate on these moments that will happen.
If you raise the camera, and
also,
you can do that now with live view, and you would raise the umbrellas. You will just see the bride and the people behind her as well. But it's funny how we, a lot of photos that we've seen today, we've been cropping and cropping and cropping. And Laura is saying that now. Crop. Okay.
She's singing it. It's a musical note. If only we should get Laura to sing it.
We've been cropping a lot of pictures. So that's a solution for if you don't do it on a day, just look at the picture and see what is that you don't need there. You can look at this picture. Do you really need this here? Is this important? Then crop it. Just crop it. I'm not afraid of cropping. When I have to crop, even if it's 70% of the picture. I'll just crop it.
Yeah, as long as you learn from the crops that you're making, they should be teaching you that your composition is off.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. Okay.
Get rid of that light bulb.
Yeah.
Yves mentioned this earlier on. It's one of the things that I talk about and really agree with as well is the percentage of something in the frame. Like her face is the key, and it's probably 2% of the frame. That expression. Obviously, the whole thing is nice, but I think again, I'd want to at least try and get my arm up and get a bit more of her face and zoom in a bit. I like the picture though. Yes, it is Bruno. It's get out of jail free card cropping.
Yeah. Elena, what do you think about this one?
Yes, I like this moment of the bride. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's. I think that the photographer tries to create an artistic photo. I'm not sure. I'm confused because I like the moment and I like this artistic that the photographer tries to create. But I think that I don't have neither the artistic part nor the moment. I don't know if.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean. Well, if he was using the fixed lens, it's on 24 mil here. If it's fixed, then, and if he only has that lens, there's not much that he could do, because he will have to go up the stairs to get her face properly. So if this was a real moment, if she's coming down and she really started laughing like that, okay, you got it. If it's something staged, then could be better. He could raise again. He could raise the camera a bit higher. Would get a bit more of her expression, maybe. But yeah, it's but it's a good photo. I'll just clone that thing there away.
Yeah, and the light.
Yes.
And maybe the light.
Yeah, because that line points straight down to the light bulb, which is kind of distracting. I think as well, like I'm slightly different to some people because I don't think I like to see every documentary shot black and white, because sometimes I think, say that's a white room, if she's got like a nice tan, that can really make her stand out in the frame. So like not every documentary shot needs to be black and white, I don't think. I think color can really help. But technically on this picture, if you look on the left, top left, you've got really nice gradient of colors, which gives you the shape of the room. It's a really nice shape, but to the right hand side is obviously brighter, which just fades to white, which is an artistic decision, but I'd probably bring a gradient in and pull it across and darken that so you get that lovely geometry gradient back in from the right hand side, so it's more balanced.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see a bit more.
And again, it's like what Ross mentioned as well. Like there's nice gradients with the shapes and the angles of the room, and then to come back to something I mentioned earlier as well, is like try to be a little bit more, do a little bit more abstraction. Like this is a very nice room to take a graphic abstract, abstracted portrait, but like seeing her feet on the stairs and the door and the light bulb, like you like switch back to reality. You could make something really interesting, but this is not too interesting because it's shot like click, and there's not really an artistic idea, in my opinion. Yeah.
Even if one of her legs was walking off towards the next step, that add a lot to this picture.
Yeah.
It'd be a bit more natural.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know who was it. I saw Sergio also said like need more stairs, and that's also a good point. Like maybe you could do something with the stairs, but the photographer didn't really use an element. It's what you if you're shooting without maybe an idea, you include everything, and I think that's what he or she did.
Yeah. Okay, let's move to the next one.
You going to start, Elena?
No one wants to talk?
I like the landscape, this scene. Sometimes when I see such a photo, I'm thinking that do I have to see the portraits or the landscape? I'm not sure about the size of the couple, you know, maybe because we have here a wonderful scene, I would choose to show the scene and maybe the couple to be smaller.
Yeah.
Here, I don't know if I see the couple or the scene. This is the problem for me. And also the exposure, I'm not sure. I would do something more creative, maybe some silhouettes or something else. Or I would underexpose and I would choose to use an off-camera flash to see the colors, the color of the blue sky. Yes. And this rock, I'm not sure about. I don't like this rock behind.
The rock has to go, yeah.
Yes.
And unfortunately, the dress just curls that sort of outlines the bottom of the rock, so it really stands out.
Yeah.
Yes. Here I would choose the landscape, the scene.
Well, so you'd get further back and shoot up a bit, and
Yeah, I'm sure he had a better place to do this. It shows just in front of the rock. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense. He probably had a lot more space to choose from.
Also, like, I know that guy's doing the formal hand behind the back pose thing, but he just looks a bit stiff.
Yeah. 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 Okay.
I mean, like Elena said, there's so much you could do at this beautiful spot. I think that is a bit of a standard composition.
This is just like, it's just like, I can just agree with Ross. Says. It's pretty standard. It's like click, and there's not really like a way to make it more creative than,
All right.
than just the way it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Oof.
Eek.
It's easy.
Yeah.
I like the idea, but again, the right-hand side of the image kind of makes me understand what is happening, and it would be much better if you would like compose it differently, that I don't see the bushes and it's just the vertical lines. And also, apart from that, I would like really put a couple composition wise a little bit more downwards. Now it's like not in the middle, but not in 1/3. So I kind of like the rule of thirds, and this is just like above. And a third thing is like I really I kind of I'm allergic to couples looking out the frame, like each in their own way. Like
same here, yeah.
The groom to the left, the bride to the right. It's like, it's a wedding couple. They're hopefully like each other, in love with each other, like make the connection, and like by letting them look outside of frame, it's not artistic. It's just boring, in my opinion.
Another note on this sort of creative shot as such is you only need a little bit of the bamboo for the effect that you want to portray with this picture. There's so much bamboo. You just don't need, literally, you could get rid of 80% of it, getting so much closer with a 35 and maybe crop at the waist so they fill up the bottom third of the picture. and then lead up. You'd have all the bamboo you needed, because that could be really beautiful. And I think, was it Elena, did you say you can hardly see expressions? Did someone say that? You can't really tell what's going on. And I'm 100% with Yves, that looking at different ways of the frame, I don't get that either, really.
Yeah.
So much potential.
I would choose. I would opt for color instead of black and white.
100%.
I'm sure this would work really nice in color. This one probably like greenish and so.
Yeah. If the right hand side with the bushes and stuff, it doesn't work, I would just like, if this is the image I end up with, I would just like reflect the left hand side again, like in Photoshop. I will just like copy paste it to the right hand side, and then it's perfect symmetry. And then it works.
Also, like the reflection isn't in line with the other bamboo, so it makes it really obvious where the phone or the piece of mirror, the phone has gone across. You need them to line up vertically. Sorry,
Elena, anything about this one?
I think maybe I would say that I totally agree with all of you, of course. I would say that sometimes with artistic photos, I feel that I don't need to see the connection between of them. If I can't see them very well, or a message or something, I just want to see a creative photo, an artistic photo. I don't care always about the message or the story, but here I can see their faces. So this is the problem. I don't like that they see in different directions. But if I was far away, I wouldn't care. I would care only about the composition, the light. The light is good. My eyes go into them. I think it's the brighter part of the photo. But yes, all the things that you said are, I totally agree.
Okay, let's move to the next one. I think just two more or three, I think.
This is, I'm not too fond on this blacking out everything, because it's a bit of a trend at the moment. It's a lovely picture, but it's a floating head he's holding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they're standing in front of a black curtain, that kind of makes things look a bit strange. But yeah, he's holding someone's head.
Floating head, and then the Adam's family hand there.
The hand actually helps a lot, doesn't it? If that hand wasn't there, that would look so weird.
If the hand wasn't there, it would just be holding the head.
But it's a nice picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it's a nice moment. Post-processing wise, I'm all not fond of the blacking out everything. It's
very popular at the moment. You could also crop in quite a lot with that one from the bottom. That's all. You don't need all of the bottom half of those two guys at the front.
Hold on. Okay,
they don't really get much.
Where? Do you want this guy on the right?
It depends who he was. If I knew that he was some random person, no. But because he's the one with a hand, he needs to be in it. So put it to the right a bit. Try there. Yeah, that's a bit better.
Better.
His head is less floating as well, because that hand sort of makes it look like his shoulder now.
Yeah, looks better. See? Crop
for the win.
We'll just keep on cropping. Okay, yeah, but it's a good. It's a good photo. I'll just need a bit more detail on just around here.
And if you notice, when we cropped in, you didn't need to worry about all that blacking out as much either.
Yeah,
it just looked a bit more natural.
Yeah. Okay, Elena, start with this one.
The first thing that I see is this big element in the middle, shape of the wood.
This
And
here.
yes, I think I would prefer to move to the right, or yes, it's a distraction for me, this element. It's very big and very bright. The other thing is that we see the couple just walking, okay. I like the scene, I like the shadows. I think that we could do more creative things there. It's a very nice scene. We could play with a couple more, if of course, if they wanted to do it. Yes, it's an interesting scene, but it's not the best photo, I think. They just walk. I don't know, I would choose these lines. I like the perspective that we have. Maybe I would choose to separate them or play with them or do something. I like, in that case, is the unpredictable moments.
Yeah. Ross, Yves?
I agree. Yeah. Firstly, like Dan says, the horizon isn't straight, and you can tilt a picture if there isn't really an obvious straight line. But when you're looking at horizon, the brain wants it to be straight. And like Elena said, that middle bit doesn't really add anything. And what's the point of that bridge on the left? You could just focus on the one on the right and get low so the horizon isn't going through their faces. You want them to be either in the sea or in the sky. This part of them up to about here, so they stick out of the frame. Because you could use the leading lines of the bridge quite nicely if you just got central and low. I'm sure that's what everyone was thinking.
I don't really know. I don't know what I will do here. I'm honest.
Choose one of the two bridges.
Yeah.
Choose.
Just use a bridge.
Well, if one of them, I'll choose the one on the left.
Yeah, because it's above the horizon, like Ross says. But also, you know, it is interesting with in high contrast with the lines and the shadows, and I don't know. I would kind of. It could be interesting, but in another composition without the horizon, maybe a little bit more upwards. I don't know, standing on the ledge of one of these bridges, but don't fall, and then maybe from up to the bottom with the lines, put them on the ground, whatever. Do something creative, more creative than let them walk, like that.
Like Yves said earlier, you can be quite abstract, and if you look on the bridge on the left, that shadow is like bang central symmetrically. So you could have the couple either side of that holding hands or running or something, or running away from you over the crest of that bridge, and make it really creative because you've got that lovely dividing line there waiting to be used.
Okay, here's a nice tip.
Yeah. But still, I was imagining, you know, them standing on the top of or like on the left. But then I was like, I would start at them and then move to the right hand side of the picture with my eyes and you know, follow the lines to the horizon, and then I would also be gone. You know, it doesn't help. Left, right doesn't help. Just choose one of the two bridges. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. I think there's there's one more after this, and then we're done.
Yeah.
I just have to let my cat out, so I'll be 1 second.
It's okay.
He's meowing.
It's okay.
Right, boy.
I'm curious.
think the bride is completely wasted.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I've seen another photo. I think it's from this sequence of pictures, and where she was holding like a beer, like really fucked up. So I think this is probably after that, after she drank the beer and just puked everywhere. Probably, I don't know. Yeah, but I think she's completely wasted.
That looks a bit creepy, actually. Yeah, she does look wasted.
Yeah, I think she is.
That's a really cool image, though.
I like it. I like the image. It's like she's dying here, and her friends just don't give a shit. They're just having fun.
Yeah, and it's
while the bride is dying.
Yeah.
Can you crop out her legs? Sorry, we keep interrupting each other.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
No, you go first.
No, you go first. No, you're not going to play that game.
Scissors.
No, the thing is that I like it because it's I like let's say layered images, and there's two stories going on. Like on the right hand side, people are having fun, laughing, whatever. On the right and left hand side, yeah, on the left hand side, the bride is like passed out, and so it's two separate situation and moments in one frame. And what I also like is that it's a triangle, and I like to include triangles. So the composition, if you follow the lines of subjects, it forms a triangle, and I think it's always interesting to include it. But I like this one because it's a moment, and it's
genuine,
a bit layered. Yeah, but it's I could have. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't think the bride would hate this picture. I mean, if I had this picture from my wedding, and if that was my bride, I would love it.
Yeah, because you knew you were wasted. You know?
Elena, what do you think about this one?
Yes, I also like it. I like the difference in these moments. Yes. Maybe I would like to see her face more. I'd like to be closer and see her face. Yes, but it's a nice picture, nice black and white.
Yeah. The only thing is like, it's. I would like, maybe he's doing this. The photographer's doing like, or he or she is doing like this. But I would just like try to get a little bit more backwards, that you don't cut off the feet, because it's the feet of the bride and the groom.
And he could do that because I remember the photo, the other photo of this sequence where she's holding the beer, and he's a bit like it's not so close up like this one. So he had space. He could just walk back and around. So.
It's always really see where you cut people's limbs or whatever in the frame. Not try to do it in the wrists or the elbows. Just try to do it in between, or not like in the ankles, because it's cutting him in the ankles. It's not the best part to.
Well, I like the moment. I love this kind of moments. I love tragedies on weddings. So, do you like tragedies, Elena?
Yes.
Yeah, like the bride going down the aisle and falling and her nose bleeding. That's my dream wedding.
I wish.
No, never happened to me. I wish.
Don't make it happen, Valter.
Maybe I will.
If you see it in your blog, we'll have to start worrying.
Yeah, I'll just hire someone to be there in the church and just put your foot in. Okay, so let's go to the last one, and then we can vote for the favorite one of the evening.
Sorry. It's a
Again
very
to
good
the
moment.
left.
But yeah, I'm like leaning.
Yeah.
No.
And they've chopped the head off the bride and groom as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you straighten it, it's still lovely though.
Yeah. And black and white, and I would choose for black and white in this one because the emotion is like it's primary to this image. Like it's the most important thing. So in this image, the color really distracts me. Could you maybe like crop it, tilt it a little bit to crop it, like maybe crop off the ear of the woman?
It definitely needs to be straightened.
Yeah, I'll try and straighten a bit.
I'd make this black and white as well. That's the perfect shot for it.
And Valter, can you please go one step backward?
Oh no, I did it wrong. Hold on. I'm tilting it more.
Great emotion on that guy's face though.
Ooh.
A little
bit more.
A bit more.
Get rid of her ear, like Yves said.
Do you want me to crop more?
Yeah, tilt more.
Tilt more.
Oh, that's quite difficult to do it like that, isn't it?
Yeah, I hate this. I only use photo mechanic for culling.
For culling, yeah.
For culling.
We do have a headless groom now, but that is it's nice and straight.
The headless dad, yeah.
And the bride's got a little stick head as well.
It looks like one of those wood.
A mannequin.
Yeah, a mannequin to put with the dress. Yeah.
Great emotion, so.
Yeah. Good emotion.
Black and white would work a lot better. Yeah. Elena, you like this one?
But I really love.
Are you sure about this cropping? Are you sure?
I don't know. I don't know. I just cropped where
we just tried to straighten it.
Yes. I would prefer. Yes. The shadows.
See the heads.
The thing is to straighten it up. It has to be cropped there.
This is a really good point, actually. You should always take a shot so you've got padding around the edges. You shouldn't try and nail I don't think you should try and nail the composition in the camera perfectly, because if you make an error like this, you can't correct it. You should always give yourself, like, take a step back. I think, Elena, you said that, didn't you? Take a step back. You should always give yourself like 10, 20%, 10% around the edges so you can get it nice and straight.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So now we're going to the best part. We're going to choose the favorite. Because I can't give 100 points to any photo because I know some of the authors of the pictures. I'm going to invite a friend of mine, photographer from Portugal. She has seen the photos, and here she is. Hello, Rita.
Oh, hi, Rita.
You know Rita, don't you?
Guys.
Yeah.
Hi,
yeah.
Yeah, you were with her last year, and Elena as well. Yeah. So you probably.
Yeah.
Yves, do you know Rita?
No.
No. Okay, you have to come to Portugal.
No, I haven't met.
Not yet.
Yeah, Yves, you have to
come to Portugal. Everyone knows Rita in Portugal.
How's it going, guys?
Well, good.
Good.
Olá a todos portugueses.
Epá, ainda falamos português hoje. Okay, we're just talking about you guys.
Yeah, next time you have everybody speaking in English, I will be translating.
That would be an idea.
There are some people asking for a translation.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so guys, I'm just gonna quickly go through all of them, and you're gonna tell me which one is your favorite and which one you will give the 100 points. Okay, so here we go. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I can count up to 10. Carry on. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22,
Yes.
and 23. Okay, so we'll start with, let me just write this down. Hold on, I need to write this down in the document. So we're going to start with Yves.
I think it was 22, The Wasted Bride.
Wasted Bride.
I think it was 22.
Okay, let me
right?
just check. Yeah, it's 22. So yeah, this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Ross.
Can you show me 22 and 21 again? If that's possible.
22 and 21.
Because I kind of like the decapitated head as well.
Did-
Oh, not that one, the one before.
No,
23. Yeah.
this one.
I like
Yeah,
that
this-
one as well.
Mm.
It's definitely between that one and Eve's, the drunk bride.
Well, you have to decide.
I'm going to go with the drunk bride because that's a more genuine,
Bride.
interesting story.
Okay. So let's go with the drunk bride. Elena,
Yes, I like this drama. I like this one.
you want this one, the drunk bride too?
Yes.
22. Okay, now I bet Rita is going to choose something else because she always chooses something else.
I like to give different opportunities. Valter, can you show me number 6 again?
Okay, hold on. Hold on. Oh, sorry. Okay, number 6.
I can't remember what 6 was.
Is just because this tells me so much about my country, about religious ceremonies and cultural. It's so interesting. It tells me a lot of stories, and even though it has a few mistakes, of course, but I think that if we talk about culture, if we talk about something that we want to perpetuate in the future, a memory of what is a true moment and special moment, I think that this one tells us a lot about what we are religiously and about what we are about as people, as human beings. And I think I need to punctuate this one.
Okay, cool.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
Nicely put.
But the other number I had was 22, of course. I think it's amazing. It's amazing as well. And but because I like to give a different opportunities, that's what I always do here with Valter.
I knew that. Okay, so Sarah was asking if they also vote. Yes, you also vote as well. So all these pictures are going to be on our Facebook page. Let me just put the Facebook page here. On our Facebook page, if you go there now, all the pictures are there. And so what we did now was we gave each picture 100 likes each. So the drunk bride has 300 likes already, okay? And Rita gave 100 likes to the other picture. And at the end of the week, whoever has more likes, now photographers are going to ask their friends to put likes on their photos, will win the 100 euros to use in Dreambooks Pro. Okay, so thank you again. We did it in 2 hours. That was okay.
It was
I thought we were going to do it in a hour, one and a half. But the very first session we did lasted 3 hours. That was crazy. That was just, yeah. Like, Elena, you must be really tired now. Now it's what, 1 o'clock there?
Yes, it's 1
1
o'clock.
o'clock. Yeah, you should be sleeping.
I will go to a party. Don't worry.
Okay.
I will get drunk like the bride.
Okay. Okay. So, Yves, thank you very much. Ross, thank you. Elena, thank you. Rita, thank you again. Guys, don't go yet. I'm gonna end the broadcast, and we'll just talk in a minute. So everyone at home, thank you. And again, next Wednesday we'll be back. And yeah, that's it. Bye bye. See you.
Bye bye.
Thanks for
Bye.
watching.
Valter.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.